took a lovely break. I had a good time relaxing. I calmed down from whatever crisis I was having last video. And now I'm ready to get right back into it. So please see the link in the sky to see part 1. And now we're just gonna dive right back into whatever topic I was talking about. It couldn't have been that bad. I'm sure it was just me having like a bit of a freak out about the how do I explain something that I barely understand? If I'm saying anything that sounds wrong or incorrect, please let me know. I know I'm out of my depth of normally making videos of like how chaotic I am in the kitchen, okay? I know I'm out of that realm of comfort for me. So let me know if I'm getting anything wrong in the comments below. So the subjunctive mood. I'm gonna paraphrase one of my old teachers here. She gave the best description I've ever heard of this mood, and I'm gonna read it off my laptop because I forget everything within 5 seconds of learning it. That's what I've been learning while I've been learning Spanish. I am extremely forgetful. The subjunctive mood is to express hypotheticals, emotions, and ideas. In a way, it's a mood that expresses things that aren't in real life, but rather things that are in the realm of concepts that aren't concrete. That theory sounds awesome. It sounds like this mood is gonna be about talking about like dragons and fairies and like goblins and elves. It sounds like the most fun time of all time. But in reality, it actually has very specific uses and is not fun whatsoever at all. The specific uses for the subjunctive mood are to express wishes, recommendations, requests, doubts, opinions, only in the negative, not in the positive. No one can explain to you why. Believe me, I've tried. Emotions in regards to others, because your own emotions are concrete because you can know those, while other people's emotions, you can never for sure really know what someone else is feeling. How do you know? Impersonal opinions, and finally, hypothetical future statements. So things like, when you go to the mall, buy this is, yeah, it's like that, yeah. I would be the freaking best grammar teacher, I swear to God. Okay, here's the thing. That is the most extensive definition I have ever had a teacher give me about the subjunctive mood. And it still doesn't cover all the uses for it. There's honestly a lot. Because when the bitches were making Spanish, they popped off. There's so many different phrases and expressions that use the subjunctive mood, and honestly, even the list I gave you is a lot to learn. It's frustrating, because when I feel like I'm finally getting the hang of it and understanding it, I'll find a new phrase that I've never heard before or a new common saying that I've never heard before that uses it, and I feel like 5% of my soul just dies. I'm also not even gonna talk about how the subjunctive mood isn't just in the present, it also exists in the past as well. And there's 2 different past tenses you can just switch between for no reason at all. Just because. Of all the things in this language that are really specific, that was the one they chose. You know what, you get 2 options here. You get 2 options, that's fun. Don't explode. Don't explode on the internet today. Also keep in mind, a lot of Spanish speakers, they don't know this. It's like, kind of if how I walked up to you and was like, hey, can you really help me with the present perfect tense today? You would probably be like, the fuck is this person with pubes for a beard and caveman hair asking me? Why is he making random sounds and not words? I am afraid! Like, the present perfect tense is a very real tense in English, and I have used it a lot already in this video. Oh, that was a horrible wink. Oh, that gave me herpes. That was bad. But the average person doesn't know about that tense. even though we use it all the time. Spanish people are like that with the subjunctive mood, and a lot of the grammar things you're honestly going to be learning in school. Like, they'll know it automatically, but they won't be able to help you if you say, hey, how do you say this in subjunctive? A lot of people just don't know that. Which brings me to my next point, because I have been yelling at you in grammar for 10 minutes now, and you're probably thinking, you know what? Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. I'm gonna learn Spanish by actually talking to real people. Yeah, actual conversations. I don't need all this grammar crap. And that's the thing. And maybe this is personal. I find understanding Spanish in a conversation actually really, really hard. Spanish, according to 2 different studies, is the second fastest language spoken in the world, and is definitely much faster than English.
La gente siempre lo provoca por la calle. Vaya anécdota ha costado Ernesto.
Claro.
Vaya máquina. Mira esta frase que bien queda con algunos momentos tuyos.
Ahora que estamos solas, voy a aprovechar para que hablemos de tu problema.
¡No te metas conmigo, Benita, o te!
El diablo, mami, pero tú ves ese tipo. Qué bueno que está ese tipo. Qué vaina esa. Ay, ay, ay.
I only caught Vina.
See what I mean? So when I get into an actual conversation with a Spanish speaker, I find like everything I've learned kind of gets thrown out the window because I don't know what's happening past hola, like a lot of the time, like a lot. Spanish also has another issue that you won't really notice until you get a bit more accustomed to it. But because there's so many different countries that speak Spanish, they all come with their own accents. They all come with different slang. And also words that mean one thing in one country mean another thing in another country, and it's often extremely offensive. For example, the word forget in Spain means violent fucking in Mexico. There's just so many weird things like this. Like the word for line in Spain and Mexico means ass. Words that come from native Mexican languages aren't used in Mexico. Concha means shell, but in Argentina, that's actually one of the worst swear words. It means vagina, and we're not even gonna touch the dick words. I swear to God, there's like a billion words for penis in Spanish. It's like the language of penis words. I'm serious. Like, the list is endless of the amount of dick you can say. There's also a lot of short forms in Spanish because apparently it's not fast enough. In English, we do this kind of thing too, but as a learner of a language, it can really throw you off, especially if it's new to you or you haven't heard it very much. Like, ha comprado becomes ha comprado. Ha pasado becomes
¿Qué ha pasado?
There's so many. You can honestly make a whole video just about Spanish short forms and slang. It's like, I would suggest if you're gonna learn Spanish, don't do what I was trying to do and become a master of the Spanish cinematic universe and learn all the slang, all the dialects, all the accents, because that's setting yourself up for the biggest failure. Just stick to one country and one accent and one country's slang, and you will not regret that, okay? Just take my word for it. Just trust me, okay? I made a 2-part video series about how angry and upset I am. Trust me! Oh, I also want to bring up now that learning another language also comes with learning new words for literally everything. So that's not really helpful either. There's times when I'll know what verb is being used and what verb tense is being used as well, because that's my life now. But I won't know what is happening at all because I don't know any of the other words in the sentence. And then when you ask someone, what does that word mean? They go, really? You don't know what that word means? Are you sure? Yeah. Despite how similar Spanish is to English, there are also a lot of phrases that don't translate well or really at all. Like, pretty much most of them. Not most. Well, so for example, the Spanish version of I realized is me doy cuenta, which if you translate directly to English would mean for myself, I give account, which Also, reflexive verbs. I'm feeling the sensation of wanting to throw up because I cannot with reflexive verbs. I'm not gonna talk about them because I don't want to be angry for the next 3 days. There's just so much stuff like that that's just weighing down on you so heavy. It feels like the entire Spanish dictionary is weighing down on your back, telling you you're not gonna get it, you can't do it, you'll never learn this language. That's the next thing that makes learning a language as an adult really hard, and no one ever talks about it. I know for me, personally, learning Spanish has been a huge whirlwind of emotions. In general, I will admit, I am a sensitive person who gets hurt easily and a lot. So maybe this is just a me thing. But when it comes to learning Spanish, when people laugh about how I pronounce words, when people get upset when they teach me a word and I'm not using it correctly, when people teach me a new word and I say it and they're like, oh my God, you said that so bad. When people correct me in a way that's really harsh, or when people tell me, you're wrong, you did that badly, you said that wrong, it makes me feel honestly shitty. It's also really frustrating to go from sounding like a semi-educated adult in English to then just this bumbling toddler in Spanish. Like, imagine for a bit what it's like for people who immigrate to another country where they don't know the language. I imagine they're feeling like what I'm feeling times like 1,000. Because that's their everyday life now. And I'm bringing that up because one thing people often say about learning a language is you just need immersion. Something people have said to me a few times is you just need to live in another Spanish-speaking country for 6 months, as if going to a country where you don't know the language is easy? I saw a video by Gringo Spanish, and he said a lot of people believe that children are the best at learning a language, which is true for very, very young children. They pick up language really quickly. But they believe children are better than adults at learning a language, even though adults can learn pretty much anything so much better. So why is that? And he says it's because of the way we treat children when they learn a language versus the way we treat an adult. With a child, we know they're gonna make thousands of mistakes. We know they're gonna mess up. We know they're not gonna get it right away. But we understand that eventually they will get it. They will keep trying. We don't need to be too forceful on them. They'll eventually get it. But with adults, we are really forceful. We're like, you're wrong. You didn't say that correctly. You didn't get that. What are you doing? And something too that we as adults do, or at least that I do, is we tell that to ourselves all the time, constantly in our heads. I'm fucking up today. I spent this whole day trying to do this and I can't do it. When people see that I have a Spanish first name and that I don't speak Spanish, I think the real point of this video is that I want to tell new language learners what I wish I knew when I started learning a language, which is that if you're feeling ashamed over how well you're doing or how many mistakes you're making, that's okay. This is legitimately a very hard thing you're doing and is a very hard process for legitimate reasons. It is okay that you're struggling. It is okay that you're making mistakes. That's gonna happen with a language because it's so much to learn all at once that you can't possibly process everything correctly. That's okay that you're making mistakes. That's way more normal than you think. Is it taking longer than when you initially thought it would? That's okay too. That's also very normal. This truly takes people years to learn. Some people who even know languages are just constantly learning new things. It's okay. Everything is okay. The only wrong or bad thing you can do is give up, because trust me, If you just keep going and keep trying, you will learn. Even something as small as one new word a day, that's amazing. You learned something completely foreign to you that you never heard before, and now you know it. That's amazing. Maybe try this. Instead of focusing on the end goal, just focus on the journey along the way, what good things you've picked up, what new teachers you've met who are awesome, what new friends you've made along the way trying to help you, what new TV shows or movies you've been exposed to because of learning this language, what new YouTube videos have you seen because you've had to learn a language that you love now. And speaking of YouTube videos, give this video a like, subscribe, and share. I'm really interested in hearing what other people have to say about this video, so please share with other people learning languages. I want to know what their perspectives are on it. And yeah, just have a good day. Abrazos. Abrazos.